All right, welcome aboard, everybody. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. I'm a licensed naturopathic physician. I have 24 years of clinical experience helping people to get so healthy that they can stop taking prescription medication. Now, it might interest you to know that as a naturopathic physician, I can prescribe drugs. There's nothing inherently wrong with the drug. It's how it's used. Well, the way that MDs are trained to use prescription medications is in a managerial sense. Now, remember, MDs don't even know how to cure heartburn. They don't. They can manage it with the little purple pill, but they can't cure it. It's the rare disease that an MD is trained to cure. Their main intellectual consideration, their main therapeutic intervention is to manage your symptoms with drugs until things get so bad that you need a surgical intervention. And this type of medicine is outdated, old-fashioned, dangerous. MD-directed medical therapeutics are currently the leading cause of death in the United States. And the only reason that we continue to use their services is because we don't know there are alternatives. Well, guess what? There are. The problem is it's a numbers game. There are less than 4,000 licensed naturopathic physicians like myself in the United States. Less than 4,000. 350 million people here. I don't know how many in Canada. I don't know. 100 million, 20 million, 50 million. I don't know how many in Australia. There's way too many people and way too few naturopathic physicians to be able to help people the way that they need to be helped, which is why my colleague, Dr. Wallach, set his company up, Longevity, as a networked business. Because what we are doing is promoting our message of health recovery through medical nutrition, health recovery through medical nutrition, as far and as wide as we can. Because for, the majority of illnesses that people are afflicted with, the majority of chronic illnesses, things like high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, fibromyalgia, insomnia, depression, heartburn, arthritis, osteoporosis, right? The main thing, obesity, lack of energy. The things that people go to the doctor for most of the time are easy to fix with boilerplate medical nutrition. So we're doing an end around here to the pharmaceutical industry. Instead of fighting them to gain licensure and raising money for one more naturopathic medical college, we're not doing it that way. We are building a grassroots coalition of the informed. People who hear our message of health recovery through science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition, try our therapeutics on for size, recover their health, and then join our team to help us spread this message as far and as wide as is humanly possible. Because we are suffering from two myths in this country, two. Quite frankly, in industrialized nations around the world. Myth number one is that MDs own medical science. They do not. MDs are trained in one piece of the pie of medical science. One piece of the pie. Myth number two, healing is a complicated, sophisticated process that should only be attempted in multi-million-dollar high-tech facilities. It's nonsense. Surgery is complicated. Healing is easy. The entire smorgasbord, armamentarium of naturopathic therapeutics is based on the fundamental supposition that the human body is endowed with a God-given intelligence. The human body knows how to fix itself, and the human body wants to fix itself. Now, sometimes it needs help, like if your bone is broken or there's a bullet in your arm, you need an intervention. But for most chronic diseases, things like type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure, all that's necessary, most of the time, the majority of the time, is to provide the body with the raw materials that it needs to get the job done. Get out of the way, and the body will fix it. And this is our message, plain and simple. Healing is easy. Tonight's informational webinar is about a classification of a nutritional supplement called fucoidan. Now, fucoidan is a term derived from a fancy schmancy technical term. It's called a sulfated polysaccharide. And if you're a biochemist, you'll know what that means. Extracted from brown seaweed and also from a marine animal called a sea cucumber. It's extracted mostly from different types of seaweed, brown seaweed being the operative word here, all right? So this is an extract from ocean plants, mostly seaweeds. And it is an unbelievable testimony to the healing power of nature. You know, now, if I had to trust somebody, if I had to trust God or I had to trust man in order to heal my body, who am I going to trust? Well, you know, you can argue that God endows the human body with intelligence, and I'm in agreement with that. But there's also an innate intelligence that the body has, that we come in with. You know, it's the stuff that articulates everything that happens in our bodies all of the time. All of the trillions of biochemical reactions that are happening automatically without your control every second of every day are conducted, orchestrated by your body's built-in intelligence. This is referred to as the vital force in holistic medicine. And products from the earth, products from Mother Nature, have a way of working with the vital force that's completely different than the way that man-made synthetic pharmaceutical agents work with the vital force of the human body. This is one of the reasons why prescription medications have so many side effects. Because the human body is this complex system of interrelated parts. Wheels within wheels, within wheels, within wheels. Millions of gears, an intricate mechanism. And when you throw a man-made synthetic pharmaceutical agent into that complex system, you're going to screw something up. When you push this biochemical pathway this way, a biochemical pathway over here goes the other way. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So conventional medicine becomes, you know, this game of chance. Well, I know that there's a tumor here, and so we're going to give the chemotherapeutic agent. It's going to have a negative impact on the tumor growth, but it's also going to have a negative impact on the immune system. And if we overdose it or give it for too long, it might cause cancer. But we're going to go ahead and roll those dice anyway. And this is the type of intellectual thought process that we have cozied up to for 100 years. And it's about time we stopped it. In the longevity family of nutritional supplements, there are two products which contain fucoidan. And they were brought to the company by a company that Longevity acquired called Escape. The two products are ZRadical, which is a liquid, and fucoids. Fucoids. Say that 10 times fast. I call it Fucoid Z because that's easier to pronounce. But really, the correct way to say it is Fucoids. Okay? Fucoids is an encapsulated fucoidan product, and ZRadical is a liquid. And I'll give you the breakdown of these products, you know, the amounts and the ingredients in a minute. But we need to give credit where credit is due. These products exist in the United States because of this couple, Raymond and Yolanda Brown, who really were the main players in bringing all of this information about fucoidan to the holistic medical marketplace in the United States. These two people deserve our, you know, our thanks and admiration to a degree that's hard for me to express. I mean, this is like, you know, someone who discovers the sterile technique, and that's a big deal. Bringing this product in underneath the spotlight of American holistic medicine is a big deal. And we have Raymond and Yolanda Brown to thank for it. And they were the main players in the Escape Company. And the Escape Company was carrying the banner of fucoidan. and then Escape was acquired by Youngevity, and it is my third favorite product in the Youngevity family. I can't say enough about it, and it's all because of Raymond and Yolanda. Remember, this is a teamwork. This is why we do what we do. It's all about the group effort. It's not, you know, Dr. Wallach and Dr. Glidden. It's nonsense. It's everybody. Everybody holds each other's hands, and together we are an unstoppable force. An unstoppable force. This is the website for PubMed. It's the National Institute of Health website where you can reference research, any type of research that's done on anything. Well, it's not all the research, but the lion's share of research that's done around the world is posted at the National Institute of Health. And if this is too big of a URL to remember, just do a Google search for PubMed. That's why I put it in red. And when you go to PubMed, you'll see a web page that looks like this, and you will be able to type into the search box anything that you want. In this case, I typed in fucoidan. Now remember, this is the website for the National Institute of Health in the United States. From a scientific point of view, it doesn't get any better than that. I typed in the word fucoidan, and in the National Institute of Health's database, there are 1,026 research articles. 1,026 research articles on the benefits of fucoidan. So if any knucklehead tells you that holistic medicine, naturopathic medicine, the stuff Youngevity aspires to, the stuff Youngevity advocates, is not science-based and not clinically verified, point them to this website instead. This is one of the biggest, you know, this is another myth that we suffer from, that holistic medicine is unscientific. It's just the opposite. Naturopathic doctors are trained in the scientific application of non-drug therapies. The only people that try to convince you that what I do is not scientific are the MDs and Big Pharma. And, you know, if you tell a lie long enough, everybody believes it. This is a great website. If you're at all scientifically inclined, you can poke around PubMed, and before you know it, the whole afternoon is gone. All right? So here, now remember, 1,026 research articles just on fucoidan. Okay? I whittled through all of these, and here's what it all boils down to. Fucoidan has been proven to be helpful with Alzheimer's, arthritis, breast cancer, brain cancer, colon cancer, diabetes, hepatitis C, high blood pressure, HIV. It's an immune system protectant during chemotherapy. One of the side effects of chemotherapy is your immune system gets destroyed. Well, if you take fucoidan while you're doing chemotherapy, not so much. Inflammation. Name me one chronic disease that doesn't have a component of inflammation. Name me one. There isn't one. Kidney disease, lung cancer, thyroid disease, and it stimulates stem cell production. Now, this is a big deal. Of course, you know, helping with cancer is a big deal. Helping with all of these illnesses is a big deal. And I've met people through Yolanda and Raymond who had cancer. All they did was ZRadical, the Youngevity product that has fucoidan in it. That's all that they did. This was before Youngevity was acquired, before Escape was acquired by Youngevity. All they did was ZRadical. No Healthy Start Pack, no selenium, no diet change. All they did was ZRadical, and they recovered from their cancer diagnosis. Now remember, we don't treat cancer because according to the Food and Drug Administration, the only people that can legally treat cancer are the people that suck at it. And again, this is an R-rated webinar, I guess. They're the people that stink at it, the MDs. We've given them $600 billion. $600 $600 billion to come up with a cure for cancer. And they've let us down hard. Just as many people die from cancer now as they ever did. But when we use Mother Nature, we get results. The stem cell thing is a big deal. I'm going to come back to the cancer thing in a minute. But I want to focus on the stem cell thing here for just a minute. Now, stem cells are very important. And here's the deal. When the human, remember when you were born? You probably don't remember that. Well, your body and my body and everybody else's body started as a single cell. One little cell. And then the sperm attached itself to it, and then that cell started to divide. And the divisions took on divisions, and the divisions took on divisions. And before you know it, you've got a human being that's growing. The thing that causes the human being to grow is our stem cells. Stem cells cause the generation of bodily tissue. And, you know, every part of the body has a stem cell because your body is regenerating itself all of the time. It's very important to find a therapeutic agent that stimulates stem cell activity. This could be a breakthrough in helping the body regrow nerves that have been severed, helping the body regrow cells in the pancreas that have been destroyed. Now you have diabetes. This could be a big breakthrough. That's what all of this hubbub about stem cells, you know, they want to extract stem cells from dead fetuses, right? That's what the whole uproar about stem cells has been over the last couple of years. Well, guess what? If you use fucoidan, you don't need to do that, because there are already stem cells in the body that, and if you stimulate them appropriately, voila. So let's dial it down to a pragmatic level, shall we? Now, the glucogel especially, we use to help the body regenerate cartilage. It's a very useful product when we're supporting and promoting the body's ability to recover its health in the diagnosis of any type of arthritic condition. It's very important. But if you can't take it, so what are you going to do? Before the Escape Company came on board, we couldn't do anything. What we do now is the Fucoid Z. Because what does the Fucoid Z do? It stimulates stem cell production. Dr. Wallach had a patient who had a total knee replacement. He had a fake knee, a prosthetic titanium knee. He started our program, the health recovery program, and grew cartilage over the fake knee. Why? Because there were still stem cells in there. The surgeon couldn't remove all of them. So you stimulate stem cell activity, guess what? You get growth of cartilage in that particular guy's case. Now remember, the body has intelligence. It knows what tissue needs to be regenerated. So for people that have arthritic conditions, and we are attempting to support and promote their health, but they can't use the glucogel, we use the Fucoid Z. And I recommend, as an analog, as a workaround for the glucogel, the Fucoid Z capsules, not the liquid. I'm going to tell you what to use the liquid for in a minute. Okay? And don't ask me what the dosage is on this, because nobody knows. There are 60 capsules in the bottle. Take as many as you can afford. You can't overdo it. I mean, that sounds silly, but it's the truth. Nobody knows what the dosage of this is. It's not harmful. Take as much as you want. All right? And if you've got cancer, well, I'll tell you about that in a minute. Now, this is interesting. We talked about cancer a little while ago, right? I pulled this right off of PubMed. For those of you who don't really think that what we're doing is science-based, read this. Now, I'm going to tell you what this means. By the way, this is the only reason that medical school is worthwhile, because we go to medical school that you know what they're talking about with this nonsense language that they use. And I've spoken about this in my book, The MD Emperor Has No Clothes, that the reason that scientists are trained to talk in ridiculous terms like this, much like lawyers, right? It's confusing to the lay person because they're trying to make you think that they know more than you. They don't. They've just been trained in a different way to speak about it. It's no different than learning French. And you shouldn't put a scientist up on a pedestal. I mean, you wouldn't put someone who could speak 2 languages up on a pedestal, would you? But we do it with scientists, especially medical scientists, all of the time. You know what this all boils down to? This one simple thing. Fucoidan inhibits the growth of breast cancer cells, and it's been proven to reduce the translation, the metastases of breast cancer from the breast to the lungs. Now, that's a pretty big deal. Not only does it reduce the number of breast cancer cells, but it keeps it from spreading. Now, that's pretty important. So you may want to wonder why your oncologist hasn't talked to you about this. 2 words. Ka-ching. There ain't no money in fucoidan because you cannot patent a naturally occurring substance. You get it? That's why all drugs are synthetic, because they're man-made. And when you make something from nothing, you can patent it. But when you copy Mother Nature or extract something from Mother Nature, you can't patent that so anybody can make it. So your profit margins go way down. So the pharmaceutical companies aren't going to make this. And if you're not angry, you're not paying attention. This is one more reason to join Longevity, one more reason to join our cause, because everybody needs to know this and nobody does. But I digress. Here's another one. Important role of beta-1 and integrin in fucoidan-induced apoptosis. You know what this means? Again, fancy schmancy doctor talk for fucoidan stimulates apoptosis. You know what apoptosis is? Cancer cell death. The death of cancer cells. Now let's think for a minute. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Let me see. I've got a cancer cell. Do I want it to be alive or do I want to kill it? Yeah, I think I'd like to kill it. Take fucoidan. Again, this is all science-based and it's getting clinically verified. But the only people that it's clinically verified in are, naturopathic doctors and longevity people. Because there's nobody in mainstream medicine that's doing this. Again, if you're not PO'd, you're not paying attention. Here's the difference between the 2 products, the Fucoids and the ZRadical. Remember, the Fucoids is the capsule, the encapsulated stuff, right? And this is what's in one capsule of the Fucoid Z. A lot of different sea vegetables, freeze-dried, and 100 milligrams of fucoidan. Here's what's in ZRadical liquid. 50 milligrams of fucoidan and all this other stuff. But mostly the important thing to think about here is this stuff. Dragon fruit, wolfberry juice, yumberry juice. How about that? Yumberry. I bet that tastes pretty good. Who named that? I want to meet the guy that named that plant yumberry. All right? These juices are superfruits and they're loaded with antioxidants. Now remember, one of our keys to long life is a daily antioxidant consumption of 20,000 ORAC points or more. 20,000 ORAC points or more. Everybody listening to this webinar should know what that means by now. Wolfberry, dragon fruit, yumberry are loaded with antioxidant ORAC points. This particular product has not been scored for its ORAC content. So I can't tell you what it is per ounce, but I know that it's loaded with antioxidants. And I'm not sure why the company never scored it. For ORAC value, they should. And if I have any sway, they will. But right now, we're not sure what the ORAC value is, but it's high because the superfruits that are in it are loaded with ORAC, and that's why they did it. Now, the people that I have met through Yolanda and Raymond Brown who had a diagnosis of cancer, did the fucoidan, and now they're cancer-free, they did the ZRadical, not the Fucoids Z. So my recommendation is the ZRadical if you're attempting to support and promote your body in the diagnosis of in the face of a diagnosis of cancer. Do as much ZRadical as you can afford. Drink a bottle a day. You can't do that, drink a bottle every 2 days. You can't do that, drink a bottle every 3 days. Can't do that, drink a bottle a week, and so forth and so on, in addition to everything else, and I'm getting around to that in a minute. And this is just based on anecdotal historical observation of what happens to people when they try this, that, or the other thing. So remember, the two distinctions here, the Fucoid Z is the encapsulated stuff, and the ZRadical is the liquid. Okay? So my recommendation is if you're attempting to support and promote cartilage, do the Fucoid Z. And if you're attempting to support and promote anything else, do the ZRadical. That's my recommendation in short. Okay? Now, remember, this is holistic medicine. And so we don't just give a ton of fucoidan. We don't just give, 10 grams of vitamin C. We don't give 800,000 units of vitamin D like David, right? That's fractionated nutrition, and we don't do that. Why? Because this is holistic medicine. And holistic medicine is based upon the fundamental observation that the human body knows how to fix itself and the human body wants to fix itself. And also the human body needs 90 essential nutrients, 90. So what do we do? For boilerplate, generic, science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition, we give the 90 essential nutrients to everybody, appropriate for body weight, and then extra stuff on top. So this is my recipe for health maintenance. If you're perfectly healthy and want to stay that way, do this. The recommendation is 1 healthy start pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month. 1 bottle of selenium per 50 pounds of body weight per month, stopping at 4 bottles a month. Don't do more than 4 bottles a month unless a licensed healthcare practitioner tells you to. And last but not least, ZRadical. And take as much as you can afford. By the way, if I had my way, this would be called the Glidden Pack. And maybe if we, lobby longevity, they'll do it. But this is what I do every day. And this is what I recommend everybody do every day. The Healthy Start Pack, the selenium, and the ZRadical. This is an almost perfect combination of fundamental, broad-based, essential nutritional supplementation. Fulfills virtually all of your body's nutritional needs. And then the only other thing you need to do is stop eating the 10 bad foods. Stop eating the 10 bad foods. Take these nutritional supplements appropriate for your body weight every day. Get the heck out of the way and let your body fix itself. Now, if you have a blood sugar issue, it's the Healthy Blood Sugar Pack instead of the Healthy Start Pack, plus the selenium, plus the ZRadical. If you have a bone and joint issue, it's the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack, plus the selenium, plus the ZRadical. See how this works? Oh, Dr. Glidden, it couldn't be that easy. Well, yes, it is. Because this is the fundamental thing that everybody misses. Healing is easy. Your body wants to fix itself, but it can't fix itself if it doesn't have what it needs. If you're trying to build a house and you've got the blueprints and the permits and the carpenters and the wood and the nail guns, but no nails, ain't nothing getting built. You need the nails. Well, it's no different with your body. Now, most of the time, this is a good place. Well, all of the time, this is a good place to start. And most of the time, this just fixes what ails you. Okay? This has been a little short webinar tonight. The Longevity Company, ladies and gentlemen, exists to change the way that medicine is practiced in the world. That's why Dr. Wallach set it up as a network business. We are not going to fight the pharmaceutical industry. We are not going to fight conventional medicine. It's too big and too powerful and too out of control. So what we're going to do instead is ignore them. Just don't use them. Fire your MD. Where have I heard that? Fire your MD. Use nutritional supplementation instead. Join Longevity. Educate yourself about simple steps that you can take right now to recover your health. Recover your health, and then tell everybody in your world about it. And if you decide to join us as a Longevity associate, we will pay you to help us spread this message. There's two ways you can interface with this company: as a customer or as an associate. I hope that you join us as an associate. Either way, get in touch with the person who brought you to this webinar tonight. Get your questions answered. And remember, we're all in this together. We move forward by lifting each other up. And there are people in your community that went to bed last night praying to God for help with their health condition, because the pharmaceutical industry, the conventional medical doctors, have let them down hard. Well, guess what? If you join us, now you will be able to help them. This is a great service to humanity that we're presenting here. I hope that you take it seriously. I hope that you try it out for yourself. The reason that the company grows is because it works. The reason it works is because it's in tune with nature. You know what Benjamin Franklin said? God heals and the physician collects the bill, right? Well, guess what? We don't need to do that anymore because healing is easy. Thanks for your time, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. I look forward to meeting you in person someday soon. Thank you so much for your time.